Hello, good morning. You're welcome to News Reviews. First, the headlines. Tinubu makes first independence anniversary speech, announces 25,000 naira 6-month allowance cash transfer for 15 million households. Minimum wage. This is shameful. Stop making excuses for your incompetence, says Atiku. Capets Tinubu over Independence Day speech. NLC TUC suspends planned nationwide strike for 30 days, vowed to continue negotiations with government on new minimum wage. U.S. court orders CSU to release Tinubu's academic records to Atiku. University complies. Records of no use to Atiku's election appeal vindicated Tinubu, says the presidency. Nigeria's economic woes. My husband is not a magician, says Remi Tinubu. SGF sues for patience. Akpabio denies report of allocating office of wife of Senate President to wife. Boa cuts price of cement to 3,500 naira per bag. Projects further reduction upon completion of new plants construction. Nigerians appeal to Dangote to do the same. 1,000 naira per kg. Nigerians lament increase in cooking gas price. CJN Ariwola swears in 23 Federal High Court judges, says Constitution. Not public opinion shapes court decisions. Tribunal sacks Nasarawa Governor Abdullah Sule, declares PDP's candidate Ombugadu winner. Alison Madueke, EFCC obtains arrest warrant for extradition proceedings against former petroleum minister. UK court arraigns her for £100,000 bribe. Senate bars first-time senators from contesting as Senate President, Deputy. Ondo Assembly continues impeachment proceedings against Deputy Governor Ayedatiwa. Directs State Chief Judge to constitute panel to investigate allegations against him. Tinubu nominates Balarabe to replace El Rufai as president, forwards names of 3 ministerial nominees for Senate confirmation. Mobad. Court remands Naira Marley, Sam Larry, others in police custody. Police declare Prime Boy wanted. FG issues 2-week timeline for passport processing, clears over 200,000 backlogs. Nigeria Railway Corporation suspends airing staff in viral video. NNPCL denies plans to increase petroleum pump price. Supreme Court to determine Kano's case on December 15. Kano mass wedding. Intending couples test positive for HIV, hepatitis B, as well as pregnancy. Gunmen kidnap 5 female students of Federal University Justin Ma, alleged informants arrested. President Tinubu directs monthly payment of 25,000 naira to vulnerable pensioners, inclusion in CCT register. McCarthy ousted as U.S. House Speaker by his Republican Party. Protest greets LCC's announcement of contesting Egyptian presidency for the 3rd term. 6 suspects in Ecuador presidential candidate's murder killed in prison. Today is the 7th of October 2023, coinciding with 22nd day of Rabiul Awwal, 1445 AH. It's a beautiful morning from this side. Good morning, Assalamu alaikum, Dr. OLUBUNMI.
Alaikum salam. It seems you have still not woken up from bed. Yeah, it's not morning, it's actually afternoon.
Oh my world. So I think it's the rain and then the confused. So some parts driving down, some parts had rained. So, it's still very cozy. And then some parts dry. Yes, the weather confused me. I beg your pardon. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's the weather. Blame it on the weather.
Okay. All right.
Right, let's get cracking. The first news that caught my attention, just because, Kano.
Mass wedding.
Mass wedding. No, so it's the HIV pregnancy.
Hepatitis B.
The way they put pregnancy with hepatitis B and HIV makes it seem like a sickness. That's the one that caught my attention first.
And ordinarily, okay. It's a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. Well, in the news we have the information that the Kano State government is actually preparing for another round of mass wedding, and in anticipation of that, those they're preparing that wedding for, they made them undergo medical tests, and the result of the tests actually showed that some of these intending couples have some that are HIV positive, some that have hepatitis B, and we have a situation where some of them even, prove that they've actually, they're pregnant. Now, if you understand, a lot of people really have frowned at this particular action, this mass wedding thing, that why should it be the business of government?
Okay.
But you must understand where they are coming from, and that's where I think I need to really clarify. First is the fact that they feel in order to address the issue of promiscuity, prostitution, and the likes like that, then they need to help people to get married. And they don't just get them married, they also support them with some amount of money with which they feel, as far as the cost of living in Kano State is concerned, it's enough to probably get them accommodation and, at least to start something for them to earn a livelihood with which they can run the family. So that's the idea. And empowering them, that's, to them, it's a form of empowerment.
Right.
That they become more responsible. They now know that they are family people, so it's not just a case of, this careless attitude of a young man, feeling like I don't have any responsibility. So that they feel will make them responsible. Then again, will help checkmate, prostitution, fornication, adultery, and the likes like that in Kano State. Being the fact that they feel like more than 80 to 90% of Kano indigenes are actually Muslims. So they feel like, so helping them is part of the responsibility of the government.
Yeah.
Now, looking at this, I think probably they must have, learned from past experiences that it's possible that some of these people, okay, we're trying to checkmate prostitution or adultery or fornication. You now have someone actually pregnant. That defeats the objective, the first. So it means one way or the other, you guys have actually been copulating. And that's against the teachings of Islam.
Right.
So that's one. And that's the idea that, pregnancy, it's a no-no. And one way or the other, I think probably those that are found, that have actually been found, pregnant, will not benefit from the opportunity of actually that mass wedding.
And I hope they can also identify the owners of those pregnancies as opposed to
so it's not just, it's not the woman that actually got herself pregnant.
Yeah.
So it won't just be a case of it's the woman that actually bears it. But the reality is just that, it's a woman that cannot hide that thing. A man does not show on a man's face that he's done, he has done anything.
Body count doesn't show on the
body count doesn't show.
Right.
So that does the. But then, a lot of times also when you look at that test, the emphasis that a lot of people place on is on HIV. But hepatitis B is actually even more prevalent than HIV. And they have almost similar symptoms.
If hepatitis B is not worse.
If not worse than HIV. But you must understand that for those who are actually campaigning against HIV, they have an agenda. So it is that agenda that is actually, funding this promotion of, HIV above every other thing like that. The same way you look at it that, see, HIV is a controllable thing. And you now start going to school in the name of trying to, educate them. Start distributing condoms. So what would they do with it? And we have girls.
Keep it till they get married.
And we have ladies. We have some of these, adolescent girls in schools who ordinarily need a menstrual pad. That's when they don't have choice. So you cannot kit them for that, but you can kit them with, condoms.
Yeah.
So
for them to, they don't want you to use it. You have to keep it till you are of age.
I see it does not have expiry date.
So, another news. I think I'm doing cherry picking because there's so much to cover. Alice Madueke.
Oh well, eventually she was arraigned.
Yes,
during the
in
week
the UK court.
In the UK court
Yes.
over bribery allegation to the
Yes.
tune of £100,000.
Yes.
Now the question I'm asking is this: did they just wake up?
Did she just bribe? No, it's not the wake up part.
No.
Did the bribery just occur?
No, the bribery did not just occur. But did they just wake up in the United Kingdom? Since 2015, when Nigeria has actually been on her case, they actually applied for extradition. They did not allow that to happen. But then you must understand the way their justice system works.
Maybe she has finished spending the money.
They've exhausted, probably, at least they've got all that they feel they can get from her. The money has been within the economy. They've used it for many years. And now probably they feel like, we can make do without, we are done with you. So,
come and carry your property.
So now at the end of the day, now you now said 100,000. In fact, that woman, £100,000 is just like a whisper to her ears. Because you know quite well that this is a woman that has many, church properties, someone that has benefited from, private jets, schooling abroad for her children, gone on vacation, bought so many. You can see some of those items that were recovered from, auction. So now you imagine someone that has, benefited all that, just bringing up the case of bribery of £100,000.
So that you can limit the amount you want to collect back from them.
See, the reality is, now, where I'm in a dilemma is actually the fact that, should I support the fact that her arraignment and prosecution should continue in the United Kingdom, or we should actually bring her back to Nigeria to actually come and answer for her charges?
No, she will come back.
But then, no, see, I'm not sure of that, actually. Okay. Because if the extradition did not work for almost 8 years, is it now that we did not work?
There's a new sheriff in town.
See, it's not about any sheriff or anything. See, let's not go there. But then, I'm looking at it, the fact that Ibori was tried here. He did not get conviction here. He actually got conviction in the United Kingdom.
Right.
Alemisi had to run away from the United Kingdom. Came to Nigeria, just a slap on the wrist, and he was let go.
Because it's all what happened to his brother.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, imagine that. So would we say we should allow Desani to come here? Do you think she would get justice here, or she should get her justice there? So probably when she's done serving her jail term there, they can now send her back to Nigeria, and she will start her own afresh. Okay,
because I think we're angry enough to want to prosecute her here. Right. Let's see what's happening in Ondo State. What's all this drama? When is it going to end? I thought they had shipped the sword sometime.
They didn't actually. See, it's a game that is playing out. It's for me.
And Akeredolu is not yet back in the States. He's still in Oyo State.
We don't even know what is going on anymore. See, the reality is, this looks more like an Akeredolu script, and it's more about probably who.
Have we seen another year play out?
I'm not sure. You can't rule out anything when it comes to Nigerian politics.
Right.
Because I'm looking at a situation where you have a governor that is not fit enough, and you have a deputy that has acted in his absence, and you are actually trying to, show that one the way out. So that at the end of the day, what exactly are you looking at? Probably you want to bring someone that would come and succeed Akeredolu, and this is an Akeredolu that will probably finish his term next year, or in 2 years' time. I think it's about next year. So you now look at it that what exactly are we doing? What's all this? Then mind you, this man has actually gone to court to actually stay proceedings or that on the impeachment move. But then the assembly felt that nobody can actually stop them. So quite well, it's not about democracy, it's not about the people of Ondo State. It's actually about probably that's the wish of the governor. And remember, that was the same way the former deputy governor to this same Akeredolu was shown the way out before Aiyedatiwa came in as a running mate. Now, you are also so the question will be, how many deputy governors
need to serve
would serve under Akeredolu? And you are talking about a senior advocate of Nigeria here, a former president of Nigerian Bar Association. So are we looking at the rule of law here, or we are looking at the rule of the governor? See, because our governors are actually turned themselves emperors. Little wonder even Afe Babala was saying that, the governors have actually stolen the local government funds. See, the reality is, we know there is no local government anymore. The governors have actually turned it to probably just one office within, the local government and chieftaincy affairs, ministry of the state. So it's unfortunate, and I hope that they would allow the law prevail. Now, see, the pressure is on the Chief Justice of, the Chief Judge of Ondo State, because quite well that it was an Ondo State High Court that actually granted the prayers of the deputy governor, who went there to actually stay proceedings, pending when that all this is they are actually trumped up charges. One. So with the same chief judge under whose authority the state judiciary granted that order, will he now respect that subsisting order of the court, because the assembly did not appeal that judgment?
Right.
They didn't appeal it. Now they just want to go ahead. See, what they want to do is ensure that he's out of office. Whether he's guilty or not, no, we'll show him the way out. His aids will be withdrawn. Now, all his privileges will be withdrawn. Yeah. He will now be fighting as an ordinary citizen, no longer as the deputy governor. Right. So at the end of the day, the case will now continue perpetually till Akeredolu will serve out his tenure.
Right.
The same way, they now said the impeachment of the former deputy governor was actually unconstitutional. The same way, the impeachment of the deputy governor to Yaya Bello in his first term was after that one has been shown out of office. He now said his impeachment is unconstitutional. The same thing is what they actually want to play out. That's the game we play. You will go, another person will be appointed. The person will serve with the governor. So you will not be fighting against your removal, that your removal is unconstitutional. But at that time, you won't come back as deputy governor anymore because that term will be served out. So you cannot claim anything anymore. So that's what they want to do. So it's a way of punishing him. But then the APC National Working Committee has actually come in.
Yes.
They said, everybody stay action on this matter. They set up a reconciliation committee led by former Katsina State Governor AMINAT Masari. I only hope that Akeredolu and his supporters in the House of Assembly would probably allow reason to prevail and would listen to the voice of reason and probably allow peace to reign. Because I don't see anything anymore. See, how many months does he have to spend as governor? So he should just manage his health and even allow this guy to say, okay, see, the only condition upon which I would allow you to continue to serve in office is you can do this, and you must remain loyal and things like that. And let's just allow.
Let's hope the reconciliation will hold water and they can all calm down and let the state move forward. Because it looks like the state has been stagnated since this whole drama started. Let's go to Nigerian Railway Corporation. What's this airing staff? What did he do exactly? Or did she
No. What we have actually is a case where people boarded the train and without tickets.
Right.
Now the person was saying, I have not bought my ticket. He said, don't worry, just go. So go. I have not bought my ticket. It was time to leave. Don't worry. So they now directed that person who actually did the recording to a particular coach. Okay. And the person said it was found out that all those in that coach did not have tickets. So the officials who now came to that particular coach and started collecting cash from the people on that coach, from the passengers in that particular coach. Okay. So invariably, we have a system where the staffers of Nigerian Railway Corporation actually defraud that corporation. Right. The money that ought to go to the government so that they can actually pay back the loans that were used in constructing these rail lines and, purchasing the coaches. Now we have,
every day for salary. Thief, one day for dinner, they say. So this is what it is.
So that's why the NRC is now acting. And it is based on citizenship reporting. And that's why we were saying that, see, the office of the citizen is very, very powerful. You must understand the power that you have, especially with the advent of technology. With the kinds of technology, the sophistication of technology that we have now, it shows quite well that we can achieve a lot. We can even do citizen journalism.
I was even going to give credit to NRC, thinking they are the ones doing
it was not NRC that.
It was just a random.
It was a random citizen who actually did a viral video, and the video actually trended online. So it was there. They were able to. So this is what you guys have been doing. Well, are you sure they are not even aware? That's way.
It's just that the ball was not at the
and just like my people would say, that it is whoever that is caught that is a thief.
Yes,
See, all of us are thieves. But it is the person that is caught eventually that bears the burden of every other person.
So this person gets sacked and then they will go rally around and support him because he's been remitting over the years. It's just a guinea pig that was caught. So now they will now tell you not to bring your phones into the... Don't take out your phones. If you take out your phone, you are contravening.
Yes.
Let's see how
you tell that you actually want to do transfer.
Nigeria, my country,
God, sincerely, see, we are the problem of this country. We only blame the political elites. We are part of the problem. Right. The same way a particular citizen was caught here in Lagos, actually, removing the bulbs under the Otedola Bridge.
I complained about that place. The place was
always
well lit,
dark.
And then suddenly
well
it goes
lit,
into darkness.
And see, that happened. The government replaced it, and the next day, everything gone.
It's amazing. The biggest news for me in the course of the not I'm building any house, but it's just the fact that finally monopoly has been broken. The Boa Cement announcing a slash in price of 3,500 naira per bag. I found that welcoming news. Hopefully it's sustainable. Hopefully they don't go behind and then pinch him here and there and force him to, you know, take back his word. Because he's even promising that it's only going to get better. Once the other plants are completed, the prices will further crash.
Well, I think we really need to give kudos to Bua. Because, see, it's not everybody that can dare the biggest operator in that industry.
Right.
Otedola did that, and he almost paid with his life. And if you are talking, see, it's a fact that we have to face, exactly if we want to deceive ourselves. This particular player, any sector he enters in, he disrupts that sector, and at the end of the day, the citizens suffer it. It happened in sugar, it happened in salt, it happened in pasta, it happened in flour. It happened now, even in the oil sector. The forex markets, the challenges that we face under Emefiele. See, you cannot take his hands away from it. Now, it's the case of cement. Otedola tried, he was trying to launch a Portland cement then. I remember many years back. Because he did that successfully with kerosene when he bought African Petroleum, that later became 40 Oil, FO. Now, you know, he has sold it now. So, he tried to do that. He did a front page advert on national dailies that by I think October 1, about 2015 or thereabout, or 2013 something, that a bag of cement will sell for, I think probably then 750 naira. Then it was probably being sold for 1,000 or something, and it was saying that by that date it will sell for 750 naira. The next thing we had was I was actually poisoning and he almost died. I had to run out of the country, and that project, you know, it had to, suspend it. Now, what happened is, see, Nigerians have complained that a bag of cement, even in Benin Republic, is cheaper than a bag of cement in Nigeria. And the raw materials for this cement that are actually being sold in Benin Republic is actually here in Nigeria. The production is done here in Nigeria. But then, there, it's cheaper than what we get in Nigeria. What is happening? And it's a particular person that has bought so and so, bought this, bought that place, bought place in Ibishi, in Iwekoro, gone to Obajana, and at the end of the question you ask yourself is, can we get an end to this? Now, we are producing it here, it's more expensive. Are you sure that's not what's going to happen when the refinery starts, to be functional, when it starts operations? See, that's what, and I remember that Bua, I actually stood up to him in the case of sugar. That was a particular year, about 2 years ago, when he was intending to increase the price of sugar, targeting the month of Ramadan. And Bua felt that, no, this is wrong. How can you just increase the price? There was no reason for it. Just because Ramadan was coming, I felt that demand would increase. And he wanted to sell at a particular price. Just jacked up the price. Or created an artificial scarcity, so that at the end of the day, the whole market will go into trouble. The next thing is you increase the price and you say this is how much. He did that. That was what happened actually in the cement industry. He just withdrew, supply for a particular period. Everybody was running helter-skelter because he's the biggest operator. So at the end of the day, he determines the market price. So this was what did it for sugar, and the next thing was the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment was almost, putting a sanction on Bua. Yeah. And what was the offense? They said he was trying to import sugar. He said, no. How will I import sugar when I already have contract? I have already bought, factories where I actually want to build a plant for sugar here in Nigeria. Does it make any sense for me now to say I want to import sugar? That all that I'm doing is just to ensure that self-sufficiency that we want to have as a nation when it comes to sugar production is attained. And we have someone that is, the person that actually gave you this report is this person. And it is because I did not subscribe to the idea of increasing the price of sugar. Yeah. And that was just it. But at the end of the day, the case had to, be silenced like that. The federal government just had to, allow it to slide. You remember that the Minister of Works has said for road construction now, we should be using cement. We should be using, what's it called now? That we should be using cement for our road construction and not probably laterite or this asphalt or a thing. that you can now, it is after if we have used, the concrete, then you can now place asphalt on it. But not that you just use normal laterite, you say you put vanilla, then you now put asphalt, that at the end of the day, with 1 or 2 rains, the road will, at the end it will wear off. So that now with that, people now say, don't you know cement is very, very expensive now? Said we will work on bringing down the price of cement.
Right.
Now, BUA has decided to, be proactive by saying that, okay, let us bring it down. Ordinarily, Dangote can actually do more than that. He can. I was seeing something, but because it's not official, I don't believe in it. I saw it on social media that he wants to crash the price of, cement to 2,700.
That would be good for Nigeria.
That would be good for Nigeria if he does that.
It will be up.
So it shows quite well. Now, the question we should ask is, what caused the increase in the first, instance?
Monopoly. Moving on. The increase in cooking gas price. It's how shall I say? Initially when this thing happened, we're all, no more beans cooking in the house. Go back to firewood to cook beans.
Wow.
But the reality is here. Do you think it had anything to do with the alternatives that we now more alternative uses for gas? Does it have any bearing in this increase in price, or what exactly led to this increase? And I still hear that it's going to go up even more.
Yeah.
So it's currently selling for 810 naira per kg. 1,000 naira per kg now. Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I bought just a few days ago.
I bought when it was 800 naira per kg, and I was lamenting.
Right.
Now I'm afraid what will happen in the next 1 or 2 weeks.
When you need to refill.
When I need to refill. So, and see, the idea, the thing that is, we actually, as much as we are more of a gas nation than even petrol. It's so unfortunate. Qatar is what it is today because of gas, not because of petrol.
Right.
Gas, natural gas. And we have it in abundance, even more than petrol, in reserve. But what happens? It's a situation where we just flare our gas with petrol. Crude oil exploration, we just flare gas and take away the crude oil. That's number 1. Number 2 is the fact that as it is currently, NLNG that we have only supplies 40% of the market demand.
Okay.
The rest, we import LPG. Yes. The one we use, that cooking gas, is actually LPG.
Yeah.
The one we want to use liquefied petroleum gas. Now, the one they are saying they want to use for cars now is actually CNG, compressed natural gas.
Yeah.
Now, but this LPG that we use, actually, we import 60% of it.
Not because we don't have.
Not because we don't have. But we are really not investing in that sector the way we have concentrated on petrol. Now,
even petrol, how much investment have we put in the petrol sector?
The investment we ought to put in petrol should be that aspect of refinery.
Yeah.
But we don't do that of refining. We only do that of exploring, exploiting, getting the crude oil and selling.
Right. So if we did the same with the gas, we would
have surplus.
Right. That we can now start to export.
That we can even export. But unfortunately, we are not doing that. Now, with that 40% by NLNG, so it means that even as a nation, we really cannot meet with the demand. So we have to import. Now, with importation, we are subject to the price in the international market. We are subject to the vagaries of the foreign exchange.
Right.
And now, how much is Naira exchanging for? So automatically, it would impact on.
Okay. So the Lord is our strength. Is that where you ended?
Is our muzzle.
I honestly, so Mohbad's case, right? It's been unfolding, and just yesterday there was a interim report by the Nigeria Police Force.
Lagos State Command. So
we'll just use that to shed a bit more light on Mohbad's
case. On the case of Mohbad, you see.
Or shall I backtrack very quickly? I mean, multiple theories out there, counter theories. I haven't really seen a program that is fully exploring all the aspects of the case and backing it up with evidence, having medical practitioners on board. So yesterday I took time out to follow a particular blog where is a lawyer. She's a lawyer, but then she's explored different aspects, and so medical practitioners were contributing their own bits, and experts from the US and here and there were talking. And one of the things they raised was the issue of possibility of him having been buried alive, and the blood. So some are of the opinion that what was seen when the body was exhumed, was pure blood, which could have been. So two theories. One theory says it's cadaver fluid, and so that was immediately countered. It couldn't have been cadaver fluid. He was not embalmed. It was buried immediately. So they're still debating that. Another theory says it could have escaped from his body due to pressure. Now, what pressure is the question? What pressure did he undergo? So some are insisting that the pressure would have been when he woke up. He would have been trying to get out, and so from the fight or whatever is where he sustained injuries, and then pressure led to the blood escaping. So obviously, what's that patch that we've seen in the videos that have gone viral, there are still two legit schools of thought. One group insisting it is not blood, another group insisting it's fresh blood, and it's as clear as night and day.
Now, that's true. I think there is another angle to it, and that is the fact that, so, he was buried. So, and obviously that there was some, still some blood, parts in his body, trapped in his body, because, the period between when he died and when he was buried was not too far.
Yeah.
He died a day, he was buried the following day.
Right.
And that there are some parts of the blood that were not exposed to air.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, when you expose blood to air,
It changes
color.
Yeah.
It first becomes a clot, it changes color and things like that. So, but that those ones, in the process of, the coffin was smaller than his size. So, the way he was actually folded into it. So, eventually, when they had to exhume it, some of those blood stains that now eventually came out.
That's probably what that doctor was explaining about pressure.
Yeah, so that, see, they were trapped blood that ordinarily oxygen did not get to.
Yeah.
That we only got to
be that
see
fresh?
It could be.
Okay, after the number of days that it took. And
yeah,
then
see, the reality is that it only got her as at that particular time. That was the only time that blood actually was exposed to natural air.
Yes. Do you also multiple?
So there are some people that probably believe that he did not die as at the time he was buried,
because they faulted the report, who declared him
dead. So that was an issue. Yes, those were the issues. In fact, the truth of the matter is, the community where he was buried said that the father actually wanted him buried that night.
Yes.
That there was one side said no. They insisted that no, don't bury him at night. Wait till daybreak. Let it be morning before, at least. Let it be daybreak, so that before you do that. So the question is, why the hurry?
Yeah.
Apart from that, now
another question that was raised was, if you declared him dead, isn't there a procedure? Do you immediately release and reject the body? So they brought in a patient you claim was dead on arrival. So
which hospital certified?
There are two. So there's a report. There's actually, I'll remember, Nemes or something, the private hospital in Lekki, claiming that they certified dead at a certain. They wrote the hours and all of that. So the question many people are asking is, why didn't you keep the body? Why didn't you issue a death certificate? Where were all those things? What was the whole process? Why was that missing? And you rejected the body and returned it, because according to the witnesses, if you listen to the whole, so another hospital, they took him to another hospital who recertified him there. So two hospitals are culpable right now in this whole thing. Two hospitals declared him dead. Who issued that certificate? The earlier hospital. When was the certificate issued? And all of that, and in less than 24 hours.
See, the truth of the matter is, I really don't even want to disturb myself.
So do you trust the whole process, the whole investigation that's going on, and do you think the net was thrown wide enough to pull in all the relevant parties that were concerned?
Well, I think as people are raising all these concerns, it's for the police to actually be attentive and to actually widen the dragnet of the investigation, so that all the possible, because this one they said Yes, the nurse that actually
Now
gave
they've
him.
all now
You
hanging
are
on the nurse. There's an auxiliary nurse.
He's an
not
auxiliary
allowed
nurse.
to do
This and that. He's not a certified. He's not a practicing, or he's not a professional. This and that. Now he has actually been named the prime suspect.
Yes.
Feisha
Ogidengbe.
Feisha Ogidengbe. Yeah, that's the name of the nurse.
Yeah.
That she is the prime suspect because that it was the injection that actually led to his death.
Incidentally, she has confirmed that when she injected, he reacted negatively. He started to jerk and goosebumps all over, and she wanted to go and get something to remedy it. And between the time she was away, the friends took him to the hospital because they realized things had deteriorated. And obviously he arrived dead. Another noise that was made after because this internal report, that was I didn't really pay attention before.
Well, the thing is, see, there are so many angles to it. Now, the guy that was declared the prime boy, now eventually surrendered himself.
Yes.
And initially he said that for him, that it was actually, the police really need to actually also invite and possibly even arrest Mohbad's wife.
Yes.
And question her.
Yes.
That there are some things she knows about Mohbad that probably is responsible for his death because they had probably kind of fight. Now, another friend of Mohbad now said actually it was Prime Boy that had a fight with Mohbad.
Yes. So on the night of that event, and they've said,
and that he had to Prime Boy was saying that it was Mohbad and his wife that were having an argument, that he left them, that they asked him to leave in the car.
Yes.
So now, but the guy said no, it's the other way around. That it was actually Mohbad and Prime Boy and Mohbad that actually had a fight, and that he actually left that show because of the altercation. For so many people that also felt that probably even Naira Marley and his group were actually complicit.
He's being exonerated because they had an alibi. He wasn't in the country at the time.
Yeah, God bless you. But then, even Sam Larry that was claimed that he was not also around, they now said, but you are claiming that you were out of the country, but this particular time you sent some people that actually come and discipline me. So I'm going to disrupt my show. Another, musician claimed that Sam Larry sent some people after him.
He didn't have to be physically available to do that.
The police are saying that they are suspects that because of the bullying and so many other things like that also has a role to play in what eventually happened.
Yes.
Now, for me, I think that the police need not rush. But at the same time, Nigerians do not have the trust of the police that the more they allow this case to linger, the more we lose track of some of the different perspectives.
And in all of the interim report, I didn't hear anything about the autopsy. The report is not out.
No, they said the report of the autopsy is not out yet.
How long does it take usually?
God bless you. I don't know. Said the toxicology test and every other thing is not yet out. So we don't even know.
So we wait patiently then.
So we wait.
Shouldn't a DNA? So if they're clamoring for a DNA test,
no, they are clamoring. The idea of the DNA test is
and
actually
that's from the fans, really.
No. The DNA test is about the paternity of Mohbad's child.
Yes, the fans are the ones calling for it.
I wouldn't want to believe it's the fans of Mohbad.
Okay. See,
there are some people that are probably also trying to draw attention away from some of the names that have been mentioned, and trying to put a whole lot on Mohbad's family, his wife specifically.
Okay.
There was also this question as to why is it that it's actually the Mohbad's mother that that has not spoken up all this way, and is not the one staying with him in Lekki, while his father is actually in Ikorodu.
Right.
See, different angles to it, and as much as possible that like Mohbad probably neglected the father and was trying to now take care of the mom that left him for almost probably 15 years or something. See, for me, it's not about who is this or who is not that, or who should get there or should not get that. The question is, let proper investigation be done.
Yeah.
Whoever that is culpable will be punished, and whoever that actually is supposed to benefit from the estate of this man because he died intestate.
Yeah.
So that those who
a 27-year-old,
you can imagine he didn't think he was going to die. Ordinarily, he probably just has only one son. So if they are now saying, okay, there should be a DNA test, that's not a problem. But the question is, whose DNA will they use now?
No, so the father's DNA will help a lot, and they still have his remains that they can still use.
Well, probably that is something they need to do.
His father.
No, not just his father, because for a child, it's not just about the grandfather now. It's not just the grandfather you need to trace. It's actually the direct, gene of the father.
Yes, in the absence
and
of the father,
and it's not just a father's gene that is required for DNA test. How about even the mother? Because it's a combination.
Do you know where my head went to now? May God forgive me, and I honestly
I hope it's not into.
No. I was even going to say, are we even sure that the father is the father? But now, this day before it's going to be
unfolding so many other things like that. God bless you. You remember, you never can even tell probably what led the woman out of the man's house in the first instance, for him to even abandon Mohbad there. A whole lot of things could happen, and that's why I see sometimes some things are actually better, left, unraveled.
True.
Than because what might actually be spoiled might be more than what you're trying to solve.
Moving on, let's cross over to the foreign scene before it's time out here for us.
No, probably before we move on. And I think we really didn't talk about this CSU case, but then
yes, I deliberate because it's been a no issue
for me. It's a no issue.
It's been a no.
And unfortunately, what I find rather unsavory is the twists and turns to the actual event. You even see the testimony of the registrar of CSU, and some people are still actually
twisting it. Yes.
To say that yes, he confirmed it's a forgery.
Must agenda.
I just can't imagine that.
That's why I didn't want to make it an issue. Do you understand? Agenda must. When you read things,
you read this the transcript, and you're still saying that yes, he has confirmed that it is a fraud. Where did forgery come in here?
Agenda must agenda.
I just
Dr.
can't imagine it.
You're not understanding. Straight to the foreign scene before we're kicked out of the studio. LCC's announcement of third term. Did he come out from the same place as Baba OBJ?
Well, it's not just about OBJ. Alassane Ouattara is doing that in Cote d'Ivoire now. And now he has sacked the prime minister. He has sacked, so many appointees like that. I don't know, probably because, he wants to contest a third term. And this is part of what is actually fueling the coups that we're talking about in Africa. Now, in the case of LCC, this was someone that, overthrew the first democratically elected president in the history of Egypt, Mohamed Morsi of blessed memory. Now, you ousted him. We know quite well that ouster was not just an internal thing. No, it was externally induced. It was well orchestrated. Yeah. The US, the Israel. He was just the stood planted.
We knew that.
Now he has spent 2 terms because he's been there since 2013. Now 2013, 2023, 10 years. After 10 years in power, now you don't want to contest a third
power
term.
Is intoxicating.
Very intoxicating. Very intoxicating. And unfortunately, sincerely, what's it about this sit-tight agenda of African leaders? See, Nicolas Sarkozy was a president, he left. Jacques Chirac was a president, he left. Obama was a president, he left. Bill Clinton was a president, he left. So what? See, Jacinta Ardern, a female Prime Minister of New Zealand, spent 6 years, and she felt that I'm exhausted. I've had enough. That is nothing new I want to add
You're
again.
Talking about
now, this is someone that could, as much as decide to continue to stay on for as long as his party continues to win majority seats in parliament. Very young. She could still afford to stay for as long as 20 years. Remember Tony Blair, the longest serving prime minister in the history of Great Britain. Still, he left. So what exactly is the problem of African leaders? Are you saying that your so-called dream that you have for your people, you are the only person that can make it come to reality?
Yeah, in a nutshell. And, you're comparing 2 unlike items. You're talking about places where the people holding the positions are indeed accountable versus where you are the
the
all in all.
You determine everything.
You got the yam and the knife. Who dares query you?
Then see, for me, let's not pretend about democracy. Let's
No,
not
no, we
even
know.
call it.
No,
See,
but we don't
let
know
us not
democracy
call it
in Africa.
democracy.
We know.
Let's
We're
not
just-
call it democracy.
Yeah,
See,
we
say
need
this
to
is
find
no,
a name for
See,
it.
for me,
Africacy, maybe something along that line. But
Probably,
there's
seriously,
no,
seriously,
there's no democracy
seriously.
in Africa.
No.
That's
Let us probably know that we don't have democracy. So let's practice what we want. See, this man was a field marshal, for goodness sake. So just tell the people, I'm a field marshal, I'm not a president. So, and for that reason, I am in charge and I will continue to do. So let's know that it's not a democracy. But unfortunately, look at the hypocrisy of the West.
Yeah.
In some cases, you support sit-tight regimes because they
These are still
serving
serving them.
because they serve your interests.
Yes.
And for those who you feel don't serve your interests, no matter how good they are to their people, no matter how democratic they have tried to be, you will find a way to oust them.
Typical.
Then,
what do
what
you
is
Yoruba
it?
say? Koebe Sodare. Why
So
you...
then, the reality is, let's shun this hypocrisy that you so-called world police, so-called democratic norms, and preaching democracy to the whole world.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. See, you only talk about democracy in countries or in places where you think that these people, the people
I
you are
never
trying
saw
to bring
them
up,
attack Zimbabwe President Mugabe for a split second, while they went for
God bless you.
the throat of late
Muammar Gaddafi.
Muammar Gaddafi. So
So
it's
you look
just,
at see.
it's been the
It's not
double
just that. See,
standards.
you're talking about Muammar Gaddafi. You didn't talk about Bouteflika of Algeria. You didn't talk about Sassou Nguesso. You don't talk about the Obiang family. Equatorial Guinea is there. Angola is there. We only had that of Congo. Gabon. Congo is there. So what are we talking about? That it is a case of, so far you are dancing to our tune.
Yeah, fine.
You're
Carry
good to
on. How many more years do you need? 70. Carry on. We're here
Go
for
on.
you.
And now you are talking
Dr.
about
Olubunmi,
this sense of people who
it's
go and
time out.
complain.
We're
oh.
done
See,
here.
this sense of people who complain about Putin.
Of course. But
Okay.
of course. That's how far we can go on the show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Why not join us same time next week? I hope I'll be able to. I'll remember to greet you good afternoon next week. It won't be good. Yeah, so join us at 1 a.m. Look at me. Join us at 1 p.m. Goodness gracious. I'm still sleepy up there. Join us at 1 p.m. next week, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah spare our lives till then and beyond. Until then, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend and a blessed week ahead. Bye.